I've been with my husband for almost 20 years, but about 3 years ago, I was strongly considering divorce. And I want to talk to you about why. So I'm going to tell you the story of the day where I thought to myself, maybe I don't want to do this anymore. My husband and I had 4 kids. We both worked full time. We had been together for 16 years at this point. We've been together since high school. And on paper, I have an amazing husband. He is incredibly supportive. He's kind. He's loyal. He's a great dad. He's very hands-on. He's an active participant. He's always present. Like on paper, what else could I ask for?
Right.
But in reality, my experience is very similar to the experience of other women.
Really?
I had this amazing husband who on paper was great, but I was incredibly frustrated and burnt out from our marriage and from motherhood.
So pretty much she's like, my husband may look good on paper, but in real life, he sucks. She's not going to really go into detail about how truly great her husband is because she's trying to frame this in a certain way here. So I'm going to give you a little bit more backstory so you know just how ridiculous this woman is actually being here. So her husband is a hard worker. I'm talking working 60 hours hard worker. And he's what's known as a lineman. If you've never seen it, here's some photos of the type of very risky job and skill this occupation actually requires. Risking his life, potentially have the chance to get electrocuted to death. And she's here complaining about things like emotional labor and him not filling up the dishwasher and a whole lot of shit that she should really be dealing with like a personal therapist or something like that. Instead, she comes online, bashes him on her social media platform where she tells people she's a stay-at-home content creator. Just ridiculous.
Because what happens to so many of us is that we marry these amazing men and we have amazing relationships and then we have kids. And when we have kids, women tend to carry a disproportionate amount of the work in the home, the work of raising kids, and the mental load. And that is exactly what happened to us. About 3 months after my 4th baby was born, I remember looking at my husband and saying, I need more. I need you to do more. I am exhausted. I am in charge of everyone and everything in this house. Every night, when we cook dinner, you ask me what to make. Every day, when you drop off the kids at daycare, you ask me what they need in their backpacks. I am the project manager of this home and I need you to do more. And he looked at me and he said, okay, just tell me what to do, right? Every woman has heard this. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And I said, okay, something that would make my life easier is if in the mornings when I came downstairs with the 4 kids, because I do mornings by myself, the dishwasher was emptied, the dishes were put away, and the trash was taken out. That would make my life so much easier because when I've got the 4 kids running around and the baby crying, I can't be looking for their favorite water bottle in the dishwasher. I just need to know it's clean. And he said, yeah, of course. What? Yeah, I'll do that. That's no problem. And so, of course, he does it. But then I have to remind him, and then he forgets, and then I have to remind him again. And there was this one morning where I woke up, and I went to put something in the trash, and it was overflowing. And I went to get my son's water bottle, and it was in the dishwasher with all the other clean dishes. And I felt so disrespected and unseen and unvalued at that point in time. And I remember texting my husband being like, what happened? Like, why didn't you do this? And he said, sorry, I was running late for work. And I remember thinking, oh my God, he doesn't see me. Because what he's done has now made me late for work. And he doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about the impact on me. And he doesn't see how every single thing in our home happens because I ask him to do it or because
You work from home. Lady, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? How many times do you think he's been in the exact same situation? Frustrated almost to the brink of asking, why am I even doing this? Rethinking his marriage. Marriage is tough. It's complicated. Kids are a lot to handle. But why is it we're always seeing the moms and women get online and complaining? Are you telling me that men their life is just like really simple? Is that what it is? Maybe it's just really simple. And that's why men don't get online and bash their significant other for clicks and views. Maybe it is true. Maybe women have it the hardest that they've ever had it in history. This is just a horrible time to be a woman and a wife, a stay-at-home wife at that. It's just crazy, man. Everyone from the single mom with 6 kids and pregnant in a hotel room to the stay-at-home mom in the nice neighborhood and with the husband who's working 60 hours, all not satisfied.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Insane.
I do it myself, or because I planned and organized it. The diaper bag is full because I filled it, right? I put the wipes in there. And I felt so frustrated. And I remember thinking, what's the point? What's the point of doing this with someone else? I might as well just do it alone. And it's not because my husband didn't love me or he did anything to me. And it's not because I didn't love him, but because I felt so taken advantage of in our relationship. And this dynamic, it doesn't happen by accident, right? It's not like my husband did it to me, but we've been raised in this society that tells men and women who they should be in marriages and what it looks like to be a good mom versus a good dad. And we know the bar for moms is way up here and the bar for dads is way down here.
Is it?
And we fell into these norms. We fell into these roles in our family despite the fact that we never wanted to. And I'm lucky, and I say lucky because I have a partner who I know loves me and wants me to be happy and was willing and able to change. And so we did the work to figure out what equity looked like in our relationship. And I can tell you now, 3 years later, that we are happier than ever. Our kids are thriving. Our home runs like a well-oiled machine. And that took a lot of work. I want to say it took like 18 months to get there. And it was well worth it. But
Poor man. She put that man through hell. Poor man, she put him through hell. Gentlemen, sign a prenuptial agreement. Head over to fathershaverights.com. Get yourself a prenup. If you are a man who is willing to enter marriage in today's modern day, then you don't need women like this holding the idea of you losing completely everything over your head to stress you out. This is ridiculous.
But it is not uncommon. And so if your wife is coming to you and she's saying, I'm burnt out by the mental load and I need you to do more, she's not just saying that because she wants you to do more chores. She's saying that because truly it can hurt your relationship. It can ruin your marriage if you do not participate in an equitable way in your home. And so what does that look like? What does it look like to change these dynamics? Well, we need to really assess in our homes what the work looks like. Because in most homes, the data supports this, women do a disproportionate amount of the work. They just do. They do more of the cooking and the cleaning and the laundry and the childcare while also working full time. And men have more time for things like their hobbies, like golf, for example, or just working out, running a marathon, right? And so we need to have hard conversations about what our time looks like, what our labor in the home looks like, what is invisible labor. We have to talk about these things. And when we don't, the alternative is that you no longer have a marriage, or you don't have a happy one at least. And so I share this story because I don't think I'm alone in this experience. And I want people to know that there's hope and that if you have a willing and able partner, you can change this. You can absolutely change this dynamic.
Listen, I'm not against men helping out within a household. I'm definitely not against that. I don't mind cooking. In fact, I actually enjoy cooking. Right? I don't mind washing dishes. I sometimes like to do it, if I have time. It's not something I'm against at all. Right? I don't look at the kitchen like, oh, this is woman's work and I should never do it. No. And I think most men today understand that they're going to have to contribute to an extent. But the problem I have is we sit here and pretend like they aren't certain skills that women just naturally gravitate to because they're women. And they are better at those things. They aren't proud of those things. Women do not like who they are. If you guys notice, women do not like who they are. They don't like their natural skills, God-given skills. More specifically, I'm talking about modern feminist women, right? There are women who embrace their femininity and they embrace that side of themselves. But new age women sit there and they don't like who they are. They don't like the fact that they pay closer attention to detail. And so they are really good at raising children and can really notice small things. And they're a lot better at multitasking to an extent. These things are true. It doesn't mean that a man shouldn't step in and help out. But men are never going to be women. And when married people come together, who are man and woman, they assume their natural roles. Now, one complains more than the other. And what's surprising to me is, regardless of the woman's position, she's always complaining about lack of assistance, right? She could be working, in a career field, or she could be doing what this lady's doing, probably building a brand, nothing wrong with that. But let's not forget, this is what your husband does. Right? They could be not working at all. We've seen every version of this at not in small levels, like at high levels. Complaints. When is a woman actually happy? When is a modern woman actually happy? You may say, well, when she doesn't have a man. I don't know. They're complaining about that too. Guys, go on a social media platform where they allow a woman to put a camera in front of her face. Keep scrolling. You're going to run into it. Complaints. Oh, I'm single. Oh, I'm married and it sucks. Oh, I divorced and it's so hard. Oh, I hate working. Oh, I don't know what my purpose is. Just a lack of accepting that happiness is not a place you reach. Their feelings. Life is suffering. There is no perfect. Things today are actually a lot easier than they've ever been in history, right? Do not make it your responsibility to make another person's happy. It doesn't mean you should go out of your way to make your life miserable. A person who really loves somebody is going to make that person's life as easy as they can humanly possibly make it without crossing boundaries and affecting their own mental state too much. Hope you're following me here. There are men right now who they don't hear this message. They're just hearing you're bad, you could be doing better, you suck. It's not your responsibility to make that woman happy, especially when you are trying, right? Of course, guys, curious to know what you think. Let's read a few of these comments. Top comment here says, and you think it would be so much easier to do this all by yourself? Exactly. I would love to see it, but I don't because, they have 4 kids. But that would be the teary-eyed video would be a classic here on the Coffee Pod. Goes on to say, with divorce, then throw emotional stress on all affected on top of it single. Here's somebody else who says, a woman's love language is not having to ask. I'll die on this hill. A woman's love language is not having to ask. So you want men to read your mind. Oh, look, a single woman talking about how she wants you to read her mind. This chick here says, having to ask is another task. Somebody else here added, a mother of 5, not 4. Here's somebody else who says, are any husbands actually watching this? There's one right here. And I think it's stupid. Somebody else who says, we really shouldn't need to train grown men. What a terrible, terrible thread here. Just a bunch of crybabies. Gentlemen, choose your wife wisely.